I'm just going to show you one of my most popular tea leaf reading card decks. This one is called the Learner deck, and my tea leaf reading cards are 50 card decks, unlike standard Lenormand decks which are only 36. And I come with a beautiful big book with all the different meanings. So it's not just a little keyword, we've got the whole kit and caboodle there. Every card deck of mine has 2 ladies and 2 men. And I'm often asked, why do you have the 2 ladies and the 2 men in there? And the reason is for our polyamory relationships and also our same-sex relationships. And some people leave all these 2 men and 2 women in their card readings, and it's often used when you are looking at third parties. So has the partner got an extra person on the side and so on. Me personally, when I use my card decks, I usually take 1 lady and 1 man out. It depends on whether I'm reading for heterosexual couple or same-sex couple. If I was reading for females, I'd leave 2 females or the same as the 2 males. But when choosing man and woman and you're omitting a couple, always make sure that you choose a man and a woman that look at each other. So, and there's a reason for that when we do really big readings. So you would not choose that lady and that man, for instance, because they're both looking to the right, which is the same direction. And when we are using tea cards, directions are really important. So when you get your deck and you choose to take out one of the ladies and one of the men, always choose a couple that actually face each other, and it will make your readings a whole lot simpler. So that is just a quick look at my Learner deck, and I have so many more decks of cards and I will do those shortly. This here is my Fairies Fantasy tea leaf reading card deck, and this one is a beautiful bold colours with turquoise and green and so on, and it's got lots of little sparkles through there, bits of fairy dust and also little fairies. And this is the deck itself. This one I've actually blackened the edges on them, but you can do deck modification if you like. So this also has 2 ladies and 2 men cards in it, and like I said prior, always choose a couple that actually face each other, so those 2 face each other. This card deck itself, this one here has teapots on it instead of arrows, so the teapot is the directions, which way the spout is pointing. So that is my beautiful Fairies Fantasy tea, and it's lots of lovely rich gold colours, and it's got little fairies and fairy dust on them all over. That's the back of the card as well, and they are a 50 card tea leaf reading deck based on tasseography symbols. And this here is my 50 shades of black tea, and this deck here, I put clothing because I wanted a bit more of that sort of gothic style, and so I've got lady and man, as in the man coats and the ladies in their dresses, and these all have an arrow on them. So to tell the difference with these 2, you would actually choose those 2 because of the 2 arrows on them. That are the cards that face each other, and those 2 as well as the couple. Now, 50 Shades of Black Tea, it's all based with beautiful, rich, bold red, black and grey colours. So there's lots of the vibrant red roses and so on through this deck. And I've got this listed on my website, which is www.teawithkarin.com, and Karin is spelt with an I. So it's a beautiful deck of bold, rich colours. This deck I call Royal Tea, and it's just a lovely, soft pink And these are the people cards. We have the lady and the man, again, that have to face each other. These have a gold arrow on them. So you've got your two ladies and your two men. And these are lovely, soft, pale pink with roses. They're a beautiful deck, actually. It's quite soft. Again, it's the same 50 card deck that comes with the big booklet. And I call this one Royal Tea. All my cards actually have a little cotton bag, and the image on the front of them corresponds with the deck of cards. So even if you have several of the card decks, you will know which one's which by the logo on the bag. This deck I called Serenity, and I called it Serenity because it's a very soft pastel watercolour deck. And again, we have our two ladies and our two men. And I can pick them up. Come here. Oops. So we've got, again, now arrows on these cards. So you would choose your couples if you are just picking out one set of couples. And all these have an arrow on them. There is some cards that don't have an arrow, or like the fairy one without any symbol, and that's what we call face forwarding. But when you purchase my products, you get any free corresponding course, which is a huge amount of information. And so if you buy a card deck, you get the beginner course only. If you buy cards and charms as a combination, you get all the courses, including the charm course on its own as well. So this is just a very soft watercolor deck. It's just images that I've drawn myself. Very simple. I'm certainly no famous artist, that's for sure. But it's just fun when I actually do them myself. So this one's called Serenity. Now this is a fun deck with my Alice in Wonderland tea cards. So this was my very first hand-drawn deck that I did, and I call it Tea with Alice. And it's a funny, whimsical deck with just my random drawings. And our two ladies and two men in this are the King and the Queen out of Alice. And it's down the rabbit hole we go. And I do have some rather quirky images that I've drawn, like we've got the rabbit as a mask and the rabbit blowing a tornado and the hand on the ring and so on, house as a teapot. And it's just whimsical, and I really, really love it. It tends to be one of my favourite go-to decks, and you'll see me use this a lot in my live sessions online. And it's just a fun hand-drawn deck. The unique part with Alice is, with Alice, I did it where you can buy Alice in a bridge size, or you can also buy it as a mini size, either or you can actually buy the package of both big and little together. Alice comes with a beautiful pink flamingo spoon and the big booklet, and she's got bags with the white rabbit on it as well. So that is Tea with Alice, and she is a lot of fun. Now this is called my question deck, and I made this deck so it can be used with any types of cards or charms or runes or stones or binds, whatever you choose. And there's two ways you can use this deck, and what it is, it's a set of 50 cards with all very important questions written on them. And you can either shuffle your cards and draw a random card if you want. So you can just say, what is making me feel so anxious? And then you can draw other cards or even charms to use if you want to do it random like so. I'll just use these little charms here. Like I could draw a couple of charms here to answer the question. So you can do it that way, whether you want to do it at random like that. Or it's also a really, really good deck if you are creating your own spreads. Like you might, okay, what area in my life do I need more support with? You might think, okay, that's a great question. How do we learn to ground ourselves? You might want that one. who or what it is that's keeping me from standing, so you might want that one. And then you're creating your own spreads if you want to then draw cards or charms for each area. So that is my question deck, and that is also available in my Etsy store or my website. And if you go to my website, you will notice there is a slight cheaper price. And the reason being is Etsy have recently increased their fees something ridiculous. And so I thought, let's put it all on a web shop and generate the traffic there, because it's cheaper for you guys, because you're not getting hit with all the ridiculous Etsy fees where they do double dip. It's much cheaper for you to come direct from the website. So thanks for stopping by, and that is my question. And this is my latest creation, and this is just a win-win-win all around. It truly is. So if you've got tarot cards, Lenormand cards, tea cards, stones, charms, runes, bones, whatever takes your fancy, this is the book for you. And I called it Divination Divided for a special reason. And it's a beautiful book. It's in what they call anti-scuff materials, and the reason why is because you can actually work directly on it. So what it is, and the reason why it's divided, is we have split pages. And these split pages, there is 30 pages at the top and 30 pages at the bottom. So if you only looked at those alone, you have 900 combinations. And you can do random. You could flick and think, okay, I want that one and that one. You can go a random flick and think, okay, I'll have that one and that one. And the reason why all of these, although I've nearly filled in most of them, I better leave some blank for demonstration, shouldn't I? Each page on the back of it has a printed side and a blank side. And the reason is so you can write in some of your own spreads. Because once you fill in the back pages, like I've done on some of these, we now have, and I sat there and did a count, 4,620 reading combinations. So we have that one and that one I can read. I can read that one and that one. I can read that one and that one, or that one and that one. I can read on its own, any one of them. So the combinations are just about endless. And that's just from this one book. And this book is about 6 inches square. And it is just fabulous. And I've called it Divination Divided. Only I've gone and put a key on mine, but it doesn't come with a key. But they are a beautiful spiral bound book that you can fold back on themselves. And the anti-scuff is fabulous for the charm casters, because you can cast your charms directly onto the book and then photograph as you like. So for all you guys who are on TikTok readers and so on, it is a fabulous tool, because it's just a one-stop shop book and you have every single possible question you could think of in this book. And it's something I'm really, really excited about and really, really proud of. So that's Divination Divided. I'm using my Divination Divided book today for the reading, and I have gone through and I have chosen this page for today's reading. So we're going to look at the problem. We're going to look who or what is the cause of the problem, and how do we resolve the problem. Then we've also got down here, we can look at extra information about this. And let's do the reading. And I've only drawn one charm on each box, but you can draw as many as you like. So we've got here the problem. I'm going to use a scenario that I popularly use as a young man who's stuck in a dead-end job and he's thinking of changing his job to another company. So the problem, when he's got the scales there, would tell me he's feeling a little bit out of whack with his whole idea on how does he go about it. The scales could tell me the problem where he's literally to and fro and indecisive, and it means balance is required. The balloon, who or what is the cause of the problem? When I see a balloon and a career question, it means there's a lot of pressure. It literally means the pressure that he is under is just going to increase. It's not going to decrease in a hurry. So how does he resolve this? The lion there would tell me he needs to literally pluck up the courage to look further afield. Because of the stress here, it's just going to keep rising. So what lessons does he get from this situation? The grave there would tell me, yes, this is a major chapter in his life, and the lessons there have been very hard, but it's also time to close that chapter. Steps to follow for his immediate future. He's got the castle or the tower, which tells me he needs to start planning for a longer term place to go to, but castle often means a place where he can climb or accelerate in his field. What is in the distant future? It's great to see a cane because it tells me a company that's more supportive for his environment. So that's just a snapshot on how we use my Divination Divided, and it is a fabulous book that you can throw in your bag, and like I said, you can go through and choose your readings if you want. You can write on the backs of them to increase the amount of readings you can get in this, like I've done so here and here, and then you end up with 4,620 combinations out of this one book. How fabulous is that?